Welcome to Blood, Sweat and Talanoa. This is another BST Blitz, and today we have with us Libby McCraw, better known as Libby. Welcome, Libby.
Kia ora. Thank you for having me on the Blood, Sweat, Talanoa podcast today.
Now, we've BST has gone international a couple of times already, to the UK, to Australia. But Libby, tell us where you are.
I am currently sitting in an office in Scott Base, Antarctica.
Whoa. Right at the bottom of the earth. Now, Libby, what are you doing in Antarctica?
Well, so I am working at Scott Base, running one of the hospitality units and running the part of the retail operation down here. Believe it or not, there is one. It's a big part of well-being in Scott Base.
Cool. Now, what are the conditions like today?
So a beautiful day today, absolutely beautiful. It's minus 13. But we've got about 5 knots of wind, which is not a lot, but it's enough to bump the temperature down into the minus 16, minus 17, but balmy by our standards.
And I think you'll be relieved to know it was about 24 degrees here today. So yeah, we're doing well as well.
So is there any other roles that you may play down in Antarctica? Sorry.
So I think, do you know the thing about working in Antarctica? The thing about working in Antarctica is that you play lots of roles. You know, you 1 minute you're helping unload bags, or as the scientists are coming through. And they have lots of gear, and so 1 minute you're unloading bags, the next minute you're on dishes duty. You're helping people to load haglins to go out to their various scientific camps. So it's not just turn up at the job and do the job. There's a little bit of everything every day, as well as the job that we do. It's a real community here, and you do a bit of everything, that's for sure.
Now, we've seen a couple of your posts on Facebook around some of the experiences there. You've also been firefighter role there.
Sorry, Shane, something just interrupted that then. What was that question again?
I was saying, your Facebook page, you've got a few photos of some of those experiences there, and I saw one where you were training to be a firefighter as well, talking about all these jobs that you're doing.
Yes. And that was a really surprising part for me when I took on the role, and a huge challenge for me, actually, personally and physically, going through full firefighting trainer in a battery tower and full breathing apparatus, I'm not 21 anymore. I'm not. Certainly not in that peak condition that I used to be, and so it was enormously challenging for me. But I think I said to somebody at one stage, it was like doing involuntary sort of outward bound or something. I didn't really want to do it, but I was hugely proud of myself. I got to the other end. But we form we form our firefighting crews. So we have 3 crews here: red, blue, and yellow. And we have hose runners, we have breathing apparatus, we have a crew chief, and we have what we call auxiliaries. And they do a lot with extinguishers and scoping fire events. They are real threats to us here. If our building burns down, we're in big trouble. It's a serious business, the firefighting.
Yeah. And look, Libby, how big is the actual base, and how many people are there at the moment?
So we're nearly at maximum capacity here at the moment. There's 100 and about we had 20 people come in today, scientists and various groups have come in. We at maximum we can take 130. There are 44 what we call core base staff or thereabouts, 44, and so we as core base staff provide all those services. It's everything from keeping people safe when they're out on the ice, to driving them out there, and mechanics, carpenters, electricians, to the base services, which is, vacuuming the floors, and we have amazing chefs as well that work here. So it's a busy time, that's for sure. And it's a funny environment because we're very peaceful as a 44 core staff. We're very peaceful and we get along. And then suddenly, these 100 or so people, come in, and it's sort of like, oh, and it's noisy and it's busy and it's all of those things. And it's a very different environment at that point, and it takes real kind of mental gymnastics almost to actually kind of go, oh, okay, yeah, there's other people here now, and that's okay, and we're here to support the science, and we need to do that. But amazing learning for me around the science that they're doing here, and some of it's pretty confronting as well. Global warming is, some people may debate it, but when you're in Antarctica, you sort of can't. It's here, and it's very clear to see.
Yeah. You talk about sort of being self-sufficient for the group, and that sort of how isolating does it actually feel where you are?
Yeah, look, I remember getting off the plane, a couple of months ago, and it was minus 37 degrees, and it was blowing howling wind, and you get off from off the plane from New Zealand, and you just are on this incredible flat white expanse that is cold, incredibly cold. And at that point, I thought, gosh, how incredible is this? And at the same time, I thought, okay, I really have done this now. I am here at the bottom of the world, and there is no going back. And you realize in that moment how far away you are from everything that you've probably that's certainly for me that I've ever known. But the thing that holds us together is community. We're an incredibly kind of close community. We're an incredibly cooperative community, and it's lovely, actually. It's really lovely. Even though you are, we live in a room. Well, actually, our bedrooms are no bigger than this room that I'm in, and we share. So we share a room. It's a wee while since I've slept in a bunk bed, but sleep in a bunk bed I do. And so, but because it's just we don't spend a lot of time in our rooms. We spend lots of time in our public areas in the base. So you asked me before how big the base is. Steps wise, from one end to the other, it's 1,500 steps from one end to the other. And I walk it and doing my job, I don't know, 10, 15 times a day.
Yeah. So how long's the placement there for you? Oh,
We'll be back. We'll be back.
She is back.
We're back.
Who?
Great.
Geez, the wonders of
March.
The wonders of Elon Musk, sort of Starlink. Wonderful.
Yes. Interestingly enough, I found out the other day that the Starlink doesn't actually fly past the poles. It goes in an elliptical shape, which is why it drops out. It's not that great here. It's okay, but it's not great.
So your placements till March. Look, at the moment we're heading into we're summer in terms of the southern hemisphere. What's a day like there? Is it the does the sun actually set at the moment?
No, so not at all. We had our last sunset 3 weeks ago. And so now at 3 o'clock in the morning, it is bright sunshine, as if it's
No. So do you notice it in terms of when you're trying the body clock and all that?
It messes with sleep a lot for me and for others until the time, and it's like so a day, it is the same in terms of light, whether it is middle of the night or the middle of the day. It is exactly the same.
Wow. Must have you guys must have darkened out curtains or blinds or whatnots for the rooms. Or do you sleep with those shades?
So most of our bedrooms don't have windows for that reason. So it's so our rooms are like tiny wee dark places. A wee bolt hole that we go to at night.
Yeah. So Libby, like you get one day off a week and you're working the rest. What does a typical day sort of look like? And particularly given you get the sort of the midnight sun.
Yeah. So each day is kind of different but the same in that there are things to do that are the same. We have a store here that's actually really busy. It also services McMurdo Station, our American counterparts who are only 3 kilometres away from here. And so they are over in our store quite a bit. I've got a bit of a retail background, among other things. And so I run that operation. So we'll run the store during the day. Our base services team are, taking care of people, they're cooking, they're cleaning, they're helping people to settle in. We also have, our communal areas. We have libraries. We have a movie room. We have these are all quite small areas. We do have a bar, but it's very well. Our alcohol management is very, very tight. and that's a good thing. And of course, we have our all of our admin blocks and things like that. So we're working in those areas every day. But our main purpose is to serve the people that come in, and those people are scientists, and they are doing everything from penguins. So, monitoring penguin health, monitoring populations of penguins. Ironically, 2024 is the year of the penguin census. So I feel, having worked in Census, it's a bit like deja vu for me. And studying the ice, studying the depth of ice, and our ecosystem under the ice as well. They're doing a lot of work on methane seep from the sea floor, for various reasons, and so so our job is to make sure those scientists have everything that they need to be able to do the work they need to do. And a lot of them go out and they essentially camp on the ice, and they'll be out for sometimes days, but sometimes weeks. And so, they need a lot of gear, they need a lot of stuff to take with them, and they need well looked after before they go.
Now, Libby, how far from the base have you actually gotten while you've been there? Oh, we've lost her again. Thank you, Mr. Elon Musk. Hey, Libs.
Lost you for a wee second. Sorry, from the base. Sorry? Have you got me back?
Yep, we got you back.
Great. The furthest from the base that I've been is over to the Barnes Glacier, which is about 50 kilometres across the sea ice. It was just, remarkable. And we went into the ice caves there. But essentially, we were there picking up a scientist from a camp and taking him to another camp.
So Libby, how's the how do you travel to these places?
That's what we were doing, working there. So across the ice, generally we take the piston. Either if you're going across the ice and it's rough, they take the piston bullies. They use them on the ski fields as well, but they have a big radar that goes out in front of them, and they're monitoring for crevices. They don't want to, if they're going into sort of uncharted territory, so to speak. If we're just zooming off across the sea ice that's already a charted route, then it's Hagland, pretty much always Hagland or Skidoo. They're the two main modes of transport across the ice. We have Toyota utes and things like that we use for if we're just going up over to Murdo or somewhere like that. There's a good road over to there. So at this time of year, anyway. So.
Yeah. So McMurdo's sort of like 3 Ks away. Is it that is 3 Ks a lot different than Antarctica than it is anywhere else, like New Zealand?
It's quite a well-maintained road, because the transition from New Zealand territory to American is actually just at the back of the base. So it's and the American base has a lot of its what they call traverse equipment on our side of the hill. So they maintain that road pretty well, and we share resources with them. We share water, we share power. We have Scott Base has a large wind farm, and so we share power back to them. And so it's very cooperative in terms of what each base does to sort of keep the home fires burning, so to speak.
Hey, Libby, I have a question regarding the maintaining the roads down there. Are there a lot of orange cones around the place? Yeah, you're back.
You are back.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Libby, whether you heard my question. You guys maintaining the roads? Are there a lot of orange cones about? Like, yeah.
Yes. Surprisingly a lot.
So it never changes, New Zealand, no matter where you are. So Libby, this isn't your first sort of real challenging job. Your previous gig was Census, as you sort of said, and you sort of had an important role there. Tell us about that, and also tell us about sort of how you had to sort of manage a team through Cyclone Gabrielle as well.
Yeah, thanks, Shane. So I was the managing our front.
Oh, and we've lost the Starlink again. There we go.
Yep, Starlink again. There we go. Yeah, so I was the community engagement manager for the 2023 Census program. And our main role was as a team was building those close relationships with stakeholders, and building, trying to utilize the personal relationships and the relationships that our team had within the community to sort of mobilize the community for the collection of data. But in the collection of data, understanding the why is incredibly important. Why do you give someone your information if you don't know what it's for? So the team were all about, so what does the information do for our communities, and what will it give us when we get that information back as data, as community data? So the team had that role, and then They say if you want a natural disaster, have a census, because Cyclone Gabrielle hit pretty much within a week of census kicking off, and for those communities that were impacted, Northland. Our East Coast, our Hawke's Bay, Gisborne, all through there, Coromandel, they were just, we were trying to collect information. They were just trying to survive. And I think what we really saw in those moments, in those communities, was that our close relationships, our relationships with those communities really turned to supporting and helping them, rather than being there to get their information in the first instance. And then as time went on, there was an understanding by those communities that actually rebuilding was going to be reliant on data about what they'd lost, or how they'd been impacted. So we tried to come in behind the community to help. We sort of swapped our purpose in those places. And then eventually what we found was that those communities then kind of went, okay, well, we're here, and we know that we need this information, for our future. It's going to be really important. So we got better data out of those areas, and I think anyone imagined, given what had happened. And our own team were, severely impacted as well. We had people that lost their homes. We had people working that had their maraes had been, wiped out. And so, they were very focused on their people. So, tough leading in a space like that. But most challenging things I've done, but actually one of, a bit like firefighting training, but different. And that was a physical challenge. But leading through cycling an enormous program like Census was hard, but it was also incredibly rewarding, and it was rewarding because of the people that we were working with, not just our own team, but our communities, and everybody that we had anything to do with really at that time. I mean, people are amazing, amazingly tenacious. And the way that communities respond to each other is astonishing. Actually, New Zealand is a very special place in that way.
Now, look, one of the things, like when you talk about the team and that, you had a team of over 50 people across the country, spread. What were some of the important things around, particularly through that time, Cyclone Gabrielle, and what you take into this current role around just how do you look after people, how do you, support their resilience, particularly in sort of challenging circumstances?
Yep. It's the same, right? Caring about people, understanding people, knowing people, communicating with people, being alongside people. When you understand the people that you're working with, you can support people in the way that they need support. You can also work with people to get to where it is that we need to go, both professionally and personally. I in all the roles that I've ever done, people have always been at the core of them. And people are just are amazing to me. And so looking after people is my jam, really. And that's what I bring to this current role. This is one of the harshest environments in the world, and it tests people physically, it tests people mentally, and it's pretty hard work. So looking after people, caring, is what I kind of feel like I bring to personally and professionally to the roles.
Yeah. So look, almost halfway through your stint. What are you looking forward to in the remaining sort of time until the end of March?
Just the moments. I think there's a lot of there's certainly a lot. I think when you think, oh, I'm going to go to Antarctica and I'm going to do all this amazing stuff and I'm going to see all these amazing things, and that is true. We do that. We're lucky. We're very lucky in that respect, but we also work quite hard, and so we're working a lot of the time. So then it's the moments, where you get to go out in the Hagland and go into an ice cave. I got up one morning. It was sort of 2:00 in the morning or something, and the sun was shining across the ice because we look out over the Ross ice shelf, and the wind was blowing the snow in waves across the ice, and it looked like water. It looked like waves coming in across the ice, and it was just astonishing. And so those moments, the moments that just take your breath away, and amongst the hard work and achieving things, serving people, making sure that science is served, that they can get out to do what they need to do, is really what I'm looking forward to doing. But really just experiencing those moments.
Sounds really great, and so Libby, I think that's some wonderful sort of way in terms of some final thoughts as we close out, and in terms of what you're saying. I hope you have a great remaining time there and some further experiences, and just can't believe sort of that midnight sun stuff. So you'll have to post at least one photo of what it looks like at midnight down there.
I'll definitely do that.
Great. So, look, congratulations on the work that you're doing down there. Also, just talks to a wonderful set of experiences that and experiences that you've had in terms of some wonderful roles that you've had, and long may that continue. So, really appreciate spending some time with you. Fantastic in terms of being able to connect from here in New Zealand to Antarctica, to Scott's Base, and just wish you well in the remainder of your stint there.
Kia ora. Thank you, Shane. Thank you for having me on. And, that was awesome. Thank you. It was great to see you.
Great. So, that's a BST Blitz, and we'll catch everyone next time. See you later.
Mā te wā.